live in Western Oregon. This is NBC 16 News at 6:30.
First at 6:30, slippery conditions expected to last through tomorrow as we are still under an ice storm warning. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for NBC 16 News at 6:30. I'm Alan Matthews.
And I'm Gold Meadows. Now, Alan, with that ice storm warning, what should we expect over the next 24 hours?
Well, basically what we're looking at is we're looking at freezing rain mixed with rain, and at times we're going to see some snowfall. And of course, the big difference from tonight over last night is at this time last night, we were waiting for the storm. Tonight, the storm is already here. Let's show you what's going on right now and what we do have in effect for our watches and advisories. That ice storm warning still in effect for the Willamette Valley. That's going to run until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are going to be looking at some ice accumulation. Could be somewhere between 1/10 of an inch to 3/10 of an inch of accumulation. And again, that's for the Willamette Valley. We're also going to see some rainfall and some snow mixing in there with it as well. Now, we have that winter weather advisory in effect for the Cascades. That's going to run until Friday night at 10. They're looking at another 4 to 8 inches of snowfall and could see some ice on top of that. And then we have that winter weather advisory in effect for the Cascades in Douglas County. That's going to run until tomorrow morning at 9, so that's been shortened a little bit. And all told, they could see 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. Now, as far as our weather headlines are concerned for the Willamette Valley, we're going to be looking at freezing rain, and snow, that combination throughout tonight into tomorrow. The rest of the area is basically looking at rainfall. Of course, the higher elevations will see some snowfall. The good news is the bulk of the precipitation should be coming to an end early Friday afternoon. I think it'll end a little earlier for the coast. We'll break it all down with your full forecast coming up in just a few moments. Now take a look at this, a massive pileup in the Columbia Gorge after about 100 vehicles were involved in separate crashes near Multnomah Falls. One vehicle even burst into flames. Fortunately, everyone got out. There were some injuries reported, but thankfully no fatalities.
Well, school delays turned closures, slushy roads, and pockets of ice were the wake-up call for all of Lane County this morning. But Public Works crews began their work ahead of the forecast to prevent potential dangers from becoming worse. Before most people were awake, the first team call came early Thursday morning as the city of Eugene prepared a combination of 14 plows or attachments mounted on trucks to take on the snow.
We've had our snow plows all hooked up and ready to go. We put out the anti-icing fluid that we do. We've been doing it for several weeks now because the weather has been so cold, and we were ready to go, had crews on standby.
County Public Works crews were also tuned in to several weather sites in preparation to treat roads before and during the overnight ice, snow, and rain mixture.
Try to get an idea of what's coming, and that'll tell us what we need to do for the process, whether it's sanding, magging, or plowing.
Hibbler, who works in Zone 1 of the 5-county zone, says magging, or the spreading of thousands of gallons of magnesium chloride, began a week ago, followed by tons of sand. The county has 30 plows or plow attachments mounted on trucks dispersed between the zones, and the focus goes to roads like 30th Avenue and Fox Hollow Road due to their higher elevation.
The stuff that's in higher elevations typically gets a little bit more attention. They get ice and snow a little bit sooner than the rest of the roads. There's some steep roads that we have in our zones, and we like to try to get the steeper roads for the people to get out of their houses and down those hills a little bit safer.
As for city crews, main roadways take precedence.
Priority roads, the bigger roads, West 11th, Coburg, Chambers, the main thoroughfares.
Barnes tells us the response Thursday was a little different from January 2024's ice storm.
It was just a lot of ice that we couldn't really do a lot about. It was so thick, the de-icer wasn't super effective. This time we knew it was going to be more snow, slush, things like that our snowplows are much more effective with. So those dry roads really allowed us to be prepared.
Both the county and city say the effort to get the roads clear impacts first responders as well as public transit, and even with crews doing all they can, there's still a warning out for drivers to do their part.
A lot of people think that just because the municipalities put out de-icer or sand or plow the roads that it's safe to travel their normal speeds, and it's just not the case. There's still wheel ruts, snow wheel ruts, which will grab your tires and pull you around. There's a lot of hazards and dangers that people still need to be aware of and really take your time.
Light rain and snow could be on the way over the coming days, and officials say crews city and county-wide are standing by. Hibbler tells us the county will send out a couple of plows tonight, and they'll throw sand and apply magnesium chloride if it's needed. Well, while we dealt with our fair share of snow in Eugene, Corvallis got hit a bit harder.
Yeah, Oregon State's campus closed down as a result, alongside a number of school districts in Lynn and Benton County. Police in the area say that thankfully people were able to stay safe during the more treacherous hours of the morning.
It looks like a lot of people were diligent about staying home if they can. So there's been a lot less traffic. In this type of weather, traffic is a concern for us, and fortunately there's been less of that. So folks are definitely doing a good job of keeping safe and being cognizant of the weather.
Now, when winter weather hits, make sure to remember these winter weather driving tips. Give plenty of room while driving, drive like you can't trust your brakes, and give an extra beat or two while you're at stoplights. A meal program in Douglas County needs some major help to help out the seniors in rural areas. This is due to the ongoing winter weather preventing them from reaching everyone in need. NBC 16's Rigo Aguilera visited that program.
The Douglas County Meals on Wheels program delivers food to hundreds of clients throughout the county. Due to the changing weather patterns, the program needs more volunteers that can deliver to vulnerable seniors who rely on the service daily.
It's a huge impact when they can't drive. They can't really get out, and so they rely on those meals pretty heavily. I love doing the deliveries and getting to meet the people, and they are so appreciative of every meal they get, every bit of conversation, and that just might even turn into a hug.
Not only do seniors benefit from the service, but drivers also experience a form of gratitude only found by delivering.
It is very rewarding, and it's great to help your community. The world is kind of chaotic out there. You can't do anything about that, but we can do something about our neighbors and our community.
The program needs drivers in Glide, Glendale, Reedsport, Riddle, Sutherland, Winston, and Yoncalla. Meals get delivered on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Reporting in Winston, I'm Rigo Aguilera.
Volunteer drivers must be 18 years old and have a valid driver's license and insurance. A background check is also required before volunteering for the program.
Well, it's not every day that it's your first time seeing the snow, but it's a bit of a double whammy when it's also canceling classes for the day. Oregon State students taking advantage of the day off by doing what everyone does when we get this much snow, building a snowman and having a snowball fight. Our live shot buddy was in Corvallis today and spoke with a student who said it was his first time seeing snow.
So I would say that being an international student, I like the weather here. Yeah, first time seeing snow though.
Where are you from?
From Vietnam.
Have you named the snowman yet?
What's the name for it? Maybe Kathy?
Okay.
Yeah, because I like that name.
Bowie added that he and his friends rushed out when they saw the snow this morning.